And now, the First Alert Storm Team, live from the 13 Now digital desk. This is Tropic Topics, sponsored by Peden Heating and Air Conditioning and Mariana Toyota.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm News 13 meteorologist Kristen Kennedy with an update on Tropical Storm Nicole and its projected path, as well as potential impacts coming to the Panhandle later today. Now, if you haven't heard just yet, this was a hurricane that actually made landfall at 2 a.m. Central Time this morning with winds of 75 miles per hour. But since then, it has traveled over the peninsula of Florida and considerably weakened back down to tropical storm status. In fact, it's weakened further since we got off of our morning newscast. Now it has winds of 50 miles per hour and is moving towards the west-northwest at around 16 miles per hour. Certainly still creating some potential for strong winds as the system moves towards the northwest, and obviously very heavy rainfall at times within those outer rain bands to the north and western edge of the system. Meanwhile, the eastern side of the storm is being ripped apart by wind shear, as well as some stronger and drier air making its way in from Orlando to the east, which is why you're not really seeing a whole lot of rainfall in that area. Projected path of the storm system certainly has narrowed, meaning that there is very high confidence that the center of the storm will likely track through the Big Bend through the remainder of the afternoon and certainly closer to the early evening hours before pushing towards the northeast in through Georgia as well as the Carolinas tomorrow through the weekend. And at that point, it will be weakening further to a tropical depression, and forecast advisory is no longer coming after Saturday, with the storm system being swept up by a cold front. Now, because we're on the west side of the storm system here, we are not forecasting any tropical spin-up tornadoes. However, eastern locations of the peninsula of Florida, as well as southeastern Georgia and parts of the Carolinas, certainly will be having to keep a heads up for tropical spin-up tornadoes, as well as rainfall and gusty winds to continue through the day today. Satellite and radar here continuing to show the progression of the storm. Notice as it's moved from the east coast of Florida, now approaching the west, it's become certainly more widespread. Those rain bands not quite as compact, indicating weakening of the storm system. But yes, wet weather is on the way, and we're already seeing those showers along the Forgotten Coast, through the Big Bend, and just to the east there of the Apalachicola River. And our satellite and radar here will show you the progression of those showers coming in mainly from the east, tracking to the west. So if you are in Liberty County and Franklin County or Southern Gulf, you're probably seeing pretty consistent light to moderate rain. Some scattered showers are working their way into parts of Calhoun and Jackson County, with many areas from Bay to Washington, Holmes, Walton, and further west, certainly dealing with quite a bit of cloud cover, but also some peaks of sunshine, which have resulted in temperatures climbing into the low 70s in those spots. Middle to upper 60s still on the map further towards the east, of course, where the cloud cover is more dense and rain is ongoing at this time. We do have a wind advisory that has been extended further towards the west now to include most of our western counties of the Panhandle. So we're looking at parts of Escambia and Santa Rosa County, Okaloosa County. It also includes Walton, Holmes, Washington, Bay, Jackson, Calhoun, and Gulf County. That will last until 6 a.m. Central Time tomorrow morning. To the east of the Apalachicola River, indicated by the orange on the map, is a tropical storm warning that does include Franklin and also Liberty County. The only difference here is where the advisory and the tropical storm warning has to do with where the strongest winds are expected to be, and that is within the tropical storm warning, where wind gusts may reach 45 to 50 miles per hour later today. For the wind advisory, which is where today's forecast comes into play, winds will be gusting closer to 40 miles per hour. I won't be completely surprised if we get a wind gust close to 45, but again, that is expected to be close to the Apalachicola River. Everywhere, mainly in the low 70s today, certainly for central and western counties. The Forgotten Coast that is dealing with the rain and the cloud cover moving in right now likely will not see temperatures getting into the 70s, as rainfall and cloud cover is set to impact those areas through the remainder of the day, really inhibiting temperatures from being on the climb. So as we continue with your forecast today, now our FUTURECAST here is a little bit in advance, so this is around 12 o'clock compared to right now, but we should be seeing a little bit more rain bands working their way into our central counties of the Panhandle. At times the rain will be light, but you can also expect some pockets of moderate to heavy rainfall as well. Not necessarily concerned with the flash flooding threat, as we don't have too much rainfall in the forecast today, but again, if we do get a slow moving rain band that is producing moderate to heavy rain. It continues to move over the same area for a while. That is the only case in which case we would be dealing with a flash flood warning on this Thursday. So the bulk of the rainfall comes in around lunchtime, will last through dinner time. But look what happens as we head closer to the evening. By around 9 o'clock, majority of that rain is wrapping up and pushing to the north with just a few lingering showers on the south side of the storm. That will continue overnight tonight through the early morning hours, with your rain chance dropping from 80% to the overnight hours sitting at around 40%. And by early tomorrow morning, we're talking before 7 a.m., rain chances will drop further to around 30, 20, and then essentially be non-existent as we head towards the mid to late morning hours on Friday. Cloud cover will stick around though, so don't expect a whole lot of sunshine tomorrow. This is a large system with some wraparound moisture, which we may not see in the form of rainfall by tomorrow afternoon, but we're likely still going to see in the form of cloud cover. And winds will also be dropping on Friday back down to around 20 miles per hour or less, but it may take a little bit longer through the weekend until we really start to see those winds completely calming. Typical of a normal fall-like day, in which case we see winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So again, today the takeaways will be the winds strongest throughout the rest of the day into the I'd say 9 to midnight time frame, in which case we're going to be watching winds out of the northeast at around 15 to 25 miles per hour, gusting up to around 40 miles per hour. And to the east of the Apalachicola River, where there is that tropical storm warning, winds could be sustained constantly ongoing at 30 miles per hour with gusts closer to 45 or even 50 miles per hour. Another factor to the forecast here will be rainfall totals. Our westernmost locations have the I would say the highest chance for the lowest amount of rainfall, about an inch or less of rain from Walton to Okaloosa, Santa Rosa, and Escambia County today. Central counties of the Panhandle, like Holmes, Washington Bay, Jackson, Calhoun, and majority of Gulf County, could see anywhere between 1 to 2 inches of rain. Not much more than 2 inches of rain are in the forecast for that area. And to the east, all the way from the Apalachicola River to the Big Bend and northern Florida, will likely see 2 to 3 inches of rain. This is basically your at most 3 inches of rain there. Not expecting a whole lot more, as this will be a quick moving system. And as we've already seen this morning, it is deteriorating quicker than anticipated. So heavy rainfall leading to flash flooding is not going to be a big concern. It's really the winds that will be a little bit more of an impact today, and also a bigger risk for your surf water conditions. We have a high rip current risk in effect, so it's best that you stay out of the water and off of the water, with a small craft advisory lasting through tomorrow morning. That may be extended into the afternoon, and rough seas as well. Today's boating forecast features seas of 5 to 7 feet and very rough conditions out in the bays. So really no one should be out and about on or in the water, just for your own safety and also for any first responders who normally would respond to you if there was an emergency. Definitely keep everyone safe by keeping yourself safe. FutureCast here will show the projection of the showers moving into the Panhandle. And it's very similar to what you saw with the DMA, or the viewing area forecast, a little bit more zoomed in earlier, just showing the wider range and scope of it. The rain wrapping up and pushing off to our north parts of Georgia. We'll be dealing with the rainfall throughout the day tomorrow, but certainly a weaker system than what we'll be dealing with here in the Panhandle. And then by Friday afternoon, a cold front will be pushing in and bringing some cooler as well as drier weather our way through the weekend. Now, the winds will be dropping from Friday into Saturday, but by Saturday afternoon, I wouldn't be surprised if the winds do get back up to around 20 miles per hour or so, just because we'll have a strong cold front coming in, and that could cause the winds to increase into Saturday afternoon, but then drop again by Sunday. What you will certainly see on the backside of this front is colder and drier air working in for Sunday. Sunshine should be returning at that point. High pressure builds in over the mid-south, working in a colder breeze from the north-northwest, and temperatures dropping significantly as we look at your 7-day forecast. We're going to go from the 70s on Saturday to the 60s for high temperatures on Sunday, with morning lows in the 40s primarily for our coastal locations through Monday morning, and then a slow temperature trend upwards by Tuesday, with another downward trend by the middle to end of next week, with yet again another cold front on the way. So I would say this first front that we're going to be dealing with over the weekend should be the stronger one, dropping temperatures inland, especially to the low 40s on Sunday. Right now we're looking at the middle 30s on Monday, Monday morning, inland, likely going to see some frost, so be extra cautious in that area. If you have some sensitive vegetation or crops to take care of and cover, do that. Bring whatever you can inside and be prepared for some patchy frost to develop for the Monday morning hours. Again, not a huge concern with Tropical Storm Nicole to our forecast area. It's just going to be pretty windy and wet today. We do not really have a threat of tropical spin-up tornadoes as we're on the west side of the storm. Storm surge doesn't look too significant either. So I'll be here throughout the day to keep track of the Tropical Storm Nicole and its impacts to the Panhandle. If anything changes, we'll have updates on News 13. Our midday show starts at 11, and we'll have the newest advisory out from the National Hurricane Center at that time. And of course, Ross will be here throughout the afternoon and evening. As the rain continues to push in, the winds increase. We'll keep you up to date here on News 13. Of course, more information can be found online at mypanhandle.com and the Storm Track 13 app, available free to download on your mobile devices.
Thank you for watching Tropic Topics, sponsored by Peden Heating and Air Conditioning and Marietta Toyota. Be sure to download the Storm Track 13 app today to stay up to date with all of the latest weather information. For more local news, weather, sports, and more, visit mypanhandle.com.